They put extra keratin on here, so when they make them, you can use all the extra keratin, but it usually ends up globbing and making them hard to sleep with and work with. So we always cut off the first quarter of them, just to help it make it easier for the client. You want to cut them all in half. Sometimes we'll use full bonds, sometimes we use half bonds. With this client, I'm using half bonds because her hair is thinner and shorter, and that way they're less noticeable. If you have someone that has thick hair, then we use full bonds. So I just cut them. I gotta straighten out the hair first. Straighten it so it's smooth and the bond lays flat. It flows with the hair, that way we see how it's gonna lay the first time. So that when we cut it to fit, it's all flat and formed. We section it into smaller sections. You always want to leave a little bit down here in case she just has to pull it up. You don't have bonds showing on the ends, so you always leave a little bit of hair down so that it kind of covers the bond. You always want to do really thin, small sections. Like the next one I'll do, I'll pull us down a really thin section. You work way up that way. It's going to lay more of like a natural hair pattern opposed to it looking blotchy and unpatternized. That way, when you try to move them or anything, it's all you have like a same pattern. You always, and when we go around the edges, you leave the same amount of room on the outside for the same reasons, so that you don't show. And then when you want to take a really small section, a really thin section, you don't want to pull a lot because you don't want to pull hair from all different directions. So therefore, that makes it pull and the hair break, and that we don't want. So put that on there. Never want to make the section you take bigger than the bond that you're going to use. I'm going to leave it a little bit away from the scalp, that way it doesn't pull or stab her in the head. And put on there and just roll it on there until it's tight. And then it lays flat. If you pull to a side more, then the top hair is going to get too much of a bump and it's going to create bubbles and her hair is not going to lay flat. Having them be round opposed to flat, again, makes it more comfortable for the client. So I've seen flat bonds done and it tends to hurt when they lay on them or pull them. The sides, you don't put as many in a line because usually the sides are a lot thinner and finer than the back. So you don't have to do as many as you would in a row for the back. In the front, and when you do the sides, you be more careful of how you put them in and where you put them in because the sides tend to show more. And if you put some farther apart than others, it shows more. You have to make sure to get quite a bit over the ear because the way the hairline is shaped around the ear, it kind of looks like a gap in between. So we're going to try to keep most of the length as we can because we're going to try to keep it longer, and then if she wants to go shorter, she'll come back in and we'll go shorter. But I'm going to cut it with a razor because you never want to use scissors on extensions because they're too harsh and they don't blend. So we're going to comb it, and then start with the top here with her natural hair. Just kind of blend it down. And then she'll be able to curl it, straighten it, flatten, you'll treat it just like your normal hair. It is 100% human hair, so you can treat it just like your hair. Just trying to see if there's any spots that look chunkier than others, if there's any of like her natural hair that kind of sticks out a little more than the rest. And you just want to make sure that it blends.